I want to go back to the IEP team. Even though I mentioned it earlier about the student's classroom teacher or teachers, the specialists who work with the student. That could be maybe the speech pathologist, the school psychologist, the OT, a PT, physical therapist, the school counselor. It could really encompass a lot of different people. The parents are a huge part. An administrator. An administrator might also be the special education coordinator. It doesn't have to necessarily be the principal of the school. My principal at my school doesn't come to all of our ARD meetings, which where we plan the individual education program. They just it's a special education coordinator or our counselor that runs the meetings and the groups. And then the student, when appropriate, if they're age appropriate, can be part of it. I have been in meetings where the student comes in, lets us know what does work for them, what doesn't work for them. And it helps with our accommodations, things that they like to have, things they don't like to have. Many times we have students either fill out a paper, all about me paper that we bring to the meetings, or they'll video a student and ask them the questions. If it's hard for them to write, they can tell us what things that they like to have. So all of these to help their individual plan. I've even been in where students come to the formal meeting where we sign off on the individual education plan program to go with the student. And then we talked about the least restrictive environment, and it can be different for each student. And it can range from being in the general ed classroom all day long with additional support in the room. It could be just with the general education teacher, with a general education teacher and a special education teacher, or with an assistant in the room, all the way to where a student needs to be even into a resource room or into a separate classroom, into working at home or in the hospital as needed for the child. And then the general education teachers and students with special needs, the classroom teacher, often the first professional to identify the special needs of the student, and that's when the teacher will start taking note and see if the student's having a disability in certain ways, maybe in their reading or their writing, they're noticing fine motor, things along that. And then the source of valuable information about the current school performance. So the teacher is with them a lot, the general education teacher, and so they can see what areas they're strong in, what areas they've improved in, if they're reaching the goals that they have been talked about in their individual plan, and then participates in planning the student's educational program and in developing the IEP. So they work right hand in hand in developing goals for the student, in listing out the accommodations that the student needs. And I want to kind of go backwards into the chapter about on page 17. On page 17, 18 talks about the benefits of having a student under special education and the things that they are getting. And the text talks about one benefit is that both students with disabilities and students without disabilities gain opportunities to interact with each other and learn. So when we talked about the inclusion, that all students are benefiting from the inclusion and having different needs in their room, and they're all learning. And students with disabilities may benefit by increasing their opportunities for socialization when they're in the classroom, being with their peers. And then a benefit to the educator is the special educators are able to serve more students. So whenever they are included in the class or have these IEPs, they're able to help students to the best of their ability and have a plan for them. So I hope that you can go through, and on page 19 it does a little things to remember, and you're able to read through those and get an idea of some of the main things and reading the big ideas that are listed in our plan for this week, for this chapter, for chapter 1. I hope that this video has helped you understand some of the things. If you have questions, please let me know. Write them on the question board, send me an email. I would love to answer those for you, and I hope that you're enjoying the chapter so far. Thank you.